What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are heading underwater and we're going to talk about throwing the Ned Rig this time of year. One of my favorite times to fish the Ned Rig is this summer to fall transition, and it's because bait is up shallow, fish are around cover, but they've seen everything under the sun. As we swim under the dock here, check out how much biodiversity and life is under here. You got red ear sunfish, you got bass. Look how many fish are stacked up under this dock. There's probably 15, 16 bass in here. There's a bunch of big quality red ear. These are quality fish. You could win a tournament off of a single dock right here. You've got bass, you've got carp, you've got suckers, you've got all kinds of things underneath the dock, and they have seen every jig, they've seen every Texas rig, they've seen all kinds of lures. So targeting this fish this time of year can be one of the most frustrating things, but it can also be a time when you can absolutely positively load the boat in one area. You just got to find them. The Ned Rig and the dumb worm that I'm going to talk about today are one of the best ways to catch these fish that are all up shallow chasing bait fish. So let's dive in and get into it, folks. It's a good one today. First up here, we have the Rattle Worm 4.5 in copperhead color. I like to throw this bait this time of the year on a lifted jig head, 1/8 ounce weedless jig head. Look at the sparse cover that you're coming through. I want this bait to look like a fleeing minnow or a feeding crawfish on the bottom. When the water gets into the 70s, this pattern of finding green weeds on the bottom and fishing really slowly around those green weeds around that cover and structure, the lifted jig also does a good job of getting that puff of a crawfish on the bottom that's going to bring bass in. I also really enjoy the color scheme of copperhead with a rattle in the tail. It gives it an extra pop. The next color that I really enjoy just is a classic watermelon red, and it really looks like a perch on the bottom. It's got a good profile and a good shimmy. I really enjoy that these are positive buoyancy baits. They float and they create a nice tail kick on the bottom. You can see here, excellent profile in the water, excellent job of hopping on the bottom with that lifted jig. Looks really clean underwater in that clear water. That watermelon red flake really gives it a nice pop, and it gives it the ability to kind of hover and float around on that bottom that is soft and silty where fish are going to hang out this time of the year. It's an epic color for that early fall transition. The last color variation that I like to throw in real clear water is that green pumpkin black flake color. It does a great job in clear water to a little bit of murky water. It's one of those in-between baits. The only reason I don't throw this bait sooner is because a lot of guys have thrown green pumpkin at fish and they're really conditioned to that color this time of year. So it's a great clear water bait. It's also a great medium clarity bait. Once again, on that lifted jig, 1/8 ounce, that's the jig that I have the most confidence in this time of the year, simply because it comes through cover exquisitely. As you can see here, it comes through that scattered vegetation and weeds where fish are. It skips really great under docks. Plus, see that bass there in the background? All of those fish want to come up and investigate this worm because of the rattle that it's making, because of the way it's coming through cover. It's a super natural presentation, and it rigs up cleanly, and it's very durable, so you can catch a lot of fish on it, get a lot of bang for your buck. Now moving into your more medium water quality settings, a white worm will look really good. I really like to root this one around on the bottom really slowly. It looks like a minnow that is feeding. It does a great job for me in that medium water quality that you're seeing here. A little bit muddier water, it's going to pop and stand out more. I also like to tickle wind this bait through cover, so you're literally going to pop it and swim it aggressively, not let it really settle on bottom as you come through a lot of these things. The slow glide and fall on this bait makes it look like a minnow or a bait fish that you can see worming its way through cover. Excellent job there of really getting a good solid profile bait in there, swimming it and tickle winding it through cover. You're going to get bit. You can also throw this bait out deep and it's going to look like a bait fish falling through the water column that has been injured. This is one of my favorite ways to fish this bait this time of year, in that medium water clarity. Then you have the rattle in the tail, which really allows you to get bit in different settings and situations, because most fish aren't used to a soft plastic bait that also rattles. A great way to fish this bait is winding it and tickling it through cover. Count it down to just over those weeds and start popping and jerking that thing through there like a jerk bait, and it is going to get bit for you. And finally, for your dark water clarity situations, you have your classic black and blue. I really like this in the deep weeds or the muddy water conditions. Once again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm tickle winding it through cover. I'm flipping it up into cover. I'm casting it under docks. I'm finding all of those minnows there that are swimming around in these holes. Bass really are pothole feeders this time of year. If you can get a bait down there to them that's erratic enough but subtle enough, you're going to get bit. The Rattle Worm does a great job. I like to rig it here flat side down so it glides on the fall down like that. Plus the positive buoyancy on the bait is going to make it stand up. Think of it like a dumb worm, or think of it as a big Ned. That 4.5 inch bait really does a nice job this time of the year at getting bit in a tough time. Plus you can junk fish this bait anywhere. It's a great combination. It's a thing that you can really lean on in tough times to catch fish. So one of my favorite kind of baits to fish are baits that are unique, that can catch a lot of fish, but also offer you a bang for your buck. The Rattle Worm is definitely that. Plus the fall time is one of my favorite times to fish because of all the diversity of fish that come up shallow. Here we've got a pack of red-eared sunfish that are really inquisitive, really following me around a lot. Fish in the fall are like this. They're not spooky, they're not skittish. Sometimes it's hard to get them to bite, but literally fish areas where there are a lot of bluegill, a lot of bait fish, fish things that disturb the bottom when the bite gets hard, slow down, really milk those areas, find fish that are willing to eat. The Ned Rig or the bigger Ned is a great way to get bites this time of year. If you guys like the channel, give us a like, subscribe, help us out, go to our Omnia links, give us a comment, let us know how we can help you. We'll see you guys out there next time. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it.